Sixth graders, it's Mrs. Casto here. We're going to talk about solving ratio problems. And I know we often fold it, so I like to have the topic right there. Solve ratio problems. We're going to use some different ways. And this is in Chapter 1, Lesson 7. And you can glue it into your notebook when we're done taking notes so it's nice and organized. So the question we can ask is, how do I solve ratio problems using different strategies? Bless you, Sethy boy. You want to teach this lesson, bud? That's a question. And the Ramirez family eats a balanced diet. The ratio of the number of servings of protein to the number of servings of vegetables. So protein to vegetables, this is the ratio. Okay, I'm just kind of annotating so I can help focus on what I'm being asked. Okay, so this is a comparison, protein to vegetables. Because we've talked about comparing. That's what ratios do. They compare two quantities. We need the quantities of protein and the quantity of vegetables so we can work with it. Oh, and here we go. We've got it. It's 2 to 3. So what are we comparing? We're comparing protein to veggies. I'll make that green since a lot of veggies are green. Ooh, I hope you eat your veggies. Very healthy for you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and color code that as well up here. Vegetables, protein, and the given ratio, we were told. We were told. It's 2 to 3. Okay, what does that mean? For every two proteins, they had 3 veggies. Every 2 proteins, they had 3 veggies. Are you get it? So if there were 4 proteins, there were 6 veggies. If there were 6 proteins, there were 3, 6, 9. 2, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9. Okay, that's the ratio, 2 to 3. 2 on one side, 3 on the other. What is the unknown ratio? So that ratio is like question mark. I always like to think of it as in a box compared to, let's read on. Last week, the Ramirez family ate 24 servings of vegetables. That's why this one is second, because we know it. Okay, so I'm going to put my 24 here. And it says how many servings of protein should they consume, should they eat. So that's the unknown. The protein one is the blank one. That's what we don't know. So we've got some different options. Ratio tables we've talked about most often. So we'll go ahead and set it up. Protein on top, veggies on bottom. Even if you reversed it, it's still fine as long as you keep them the unknown with the protein and the veggies with the veggies. All right, so we know that it's a 2 to 3 ratio. We know that at one point they had 24. So this is what we're trying to figure out. Okay, so what did you do to 3 to get 24? That's right, we went up. We're not dividing, it's multiplying by 8. If you're not sure, you would go, well, to get from 3 to 24, they multiplied, so I'll just go ahead and divide what I do know, 24, and I'll do the opposite and divide it by 3, Okay, so they multiplied by 8. If you're not sure, check it. Take your time. Okay, yes, that was right. Some of this comes easier for you. Some of you need to really take your time, and that's okay. Whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do to the top. Now we have our unknown. It's 16. Because we multiplied by 8, just like they multiplied over here. So the Ramirez family had 16 servings of protein. That would be your answer. And another thing you could do is just take out the ratio tables and just set up equivalent fractions. Okay, so you're like, okay, 2 to 3 is the same as what to 24? That's it. You don't have to do the whole table. You don't have to write it all out. You just go, okay, what'd they do to 3 to get 24 times 8 times 8? That's 16. Same destination. Very good. So you could also do a bar diagram. So this would be part to part because it's protein to veggies. They didn't say like protein to all the food. That would be 2 to 5. Or veggies to all the food. That would be 3 to 5. They're saying protein to veggies. That's part to part. So let's just make a note of that. And first you're going to draw your bar diagram of the given ratio, and we're going to label it. All right, so here we go. It will look like this. 2 to 3. So I'm going to make sure I have 5 little squares in my bar. Okay, so these are protein. And then we've also got good old veggies. If the squares are not exactly the same, don't worry, but it's just handy to kind of see them divided up. So we've got 3 veggies, 2 proteins, 2 to 3. You with me? Okay. So I see that there are 5 in all when I add them all up. Okay. So I have to figure out, well, I know that there are 24 veggies. That was given, right? We were told that. So whatever this adds up to, it's going to be 24, right? So this part is going to be 24. That I know. So we still haven't really done any math. I'm just plugging in what we were told. So 24 divided by 3, like let's just forget the whole thing. Let's just talk about the veggie part of it. 24 divided by 3, well, that's 8. So it's going to be 8 veggies, 8 veggies, 8 veggies. Okay, so if these are 8s, then these have to be 8s. So protein, this is the unknown. You knew these were 8s, so these have to be 8. So there were 2 of them. So that 8 times 2 equals 16 servings of protein. So that was our third way of getting the same answer with this 2 to 3 ratio. 2 to 3 ratio. 2 to 3 ratio. You could do a bar to kind of see it pictured out. And then let's talk about double number lines. That can be helpful too, to visualize and really see these ratios. So I'm going to label this one protein. Oops. And I'm going to label this one veggie. And I'm going to start out with a 0. Start out with a 0. And veggies, remember, were all the way up to 24. So I'll show that here. And I know that there is a 2 to 3 ratio, right? So, well, yeah, I do know there's a 2 to 3 ratio. So this was given. And I know that protein was 2. So these line up together, right? So step 1 is label each number line and the given ratio. Okay, so we've done step 1. Step 2 is plot the unknown. Okay, so we are going to plot the unknown, which is right here. This is what we don't know. Okay, if this is 24, we solve. The third step is solve. For a relationship. Okay, sometimes it's going to be multiply or divide. And in this case, it's getting bigger, so we multiply by 8. So we multiply by 8, and we would get 16. So this one is going to have more lines in it, but they'll ultimately end up over here, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. This one's going to be spread out more. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 24. And then they line up together for your double number line. So the Millers drove 105 miles on 4 gallons of gas. At this rate, how many miles can they drive on 6 gallons of gas? So what are you comparing here? Miles to gallons. Miles per gallons, MPG, have you heard of that? And what is the given rate? Well, it's 105 to 4. Another way to think of that is 105 over 4. at this rate, how many miles can they drive on 6 gallons of gas? So the unknown rate is gallons are on bottom. And it says, how many miles can they drive on 6? We know that. What we don't know is that. Okay, and decide how you're going to solve for this. Are you going to do a double number line? Are you going to make a tape diagram? Are you going to just set it up like fractions, or maybe make a little ratio table? Okay, you decide. Bye-bye.